America is the richest country in the world. The biggest economy, the most billionaires, the most consumer spending, the most financial opportunity people dream about from every corner of the planet. And yet, millions of Americans are lying awake at night doing math in their heads. Not investment math, survival math. Can I wait until Friday to fill up the tank? Can this credit card payment slide one more week? If I pay rent today, can groceries wait until payday? That contradiction is the real American experience. Because America is rich, but living inside America often does not feel rich at all.
Right now, someone is making $45,000 a year, working full-time, doing everything they were told to do. They went to school, they got the job, they show up on time, they work hard. And somehow, their checking account still feels like it's in a constant state of recovery. Not growth, recovery. Every paycheck arrives already spoken for. Rent takes a bite, car payment takes another, insurance, phone bill, utilities, student loans, subscriptions they forgot to cancel, groceries that somehow cost double what they used to. And just like that, the money is gone. Not wasted, just allocated before it even had a chance to feel like theirs. That's what makes this so psychologically exhausting. A lot of people are not overspending. They are just participating in normal American life. And normal American life is expensive. Owning a car isn't luxury here, it's infrastructure. Health insurance isn't optional, it's protection against financial catastrophe. Housing isn't just expensive in glamorous cities anymore. Even average places are starting to feel stretched. And none of this includes actual fun. Not vacations, not hobbies, not treating yourself. Just maintenance. Just the cost of staying operational. That's why so many Americans feel this weird emotional whiplash. On paper, their salary sounds decent. In real life, it feels like financial cosplay. You make money, but you don't feel money. That gap between earning and feeling secure is where a lot of modern money anxiety lives. And here's where it gets even stranger. The richer America gets as a country, the more expensive participation becomes. The economy grows. Technology improves. Markets hit all-time highs. Luxury industries explode. But the average person experiences that growth less as abundance and more as rising standards. Bigger homes become normal. Nicer cars become expected. Better phones become default. More subscriptions become background noise. The baseline keeps moving. What felt successful 10 years ago now feels average. What felt average now feels behind. And that moving baseline is psychologically brutal. Because your brain doesn't judge wealth in isolation. It judges relative position. Not, do I have enough? But how am I doing compared to everyone around me? That's a dangerous game in America. Because America is basically the Olympics of visible wealth. Everywhere you look, someone appears to be doing better. Someone's posting the new kitchen renovation. Someone's buying investment properties. Someone's on vacation in Italy. Someone your age just bought a house and somehow also has a dog, a Peloton, and emotional stability. And your brain quietly turns all of that into a personal scoreboard. Even if logically you know social media is curated nonsense. Emotionally, it still lands. This is why income alone doesn't solve the feeling. Someone making $60,000 feels broke. Someone making $120,000 feels stretched. Someone making $250,000 wonders why they still don't feel relaxed. Because money problems evolve. At lower incomes, money problems are math. You literally do not have enough. At middle incomes, money problems become identity. You're supposed to be doing okay by now, so why doesn't it feel like it? At higher incomes, money problems become expectation management. How much is enough? How much is safety? How much is freedom? And that question has no clean answer. Because in America, wealth is marketed less as security and more as lifestyle. A nicer zip code, better schools, a cleaner kitchen, a quieter car, a softer couch, a more aesthetic version of your life. So people chase the feeling of being financially okay by upgrading the visual signals of being financially okay. And those are not the same thing. That's the trap. You can look richer long before you feel safer. And often, the more you upgrade your visible life, the more expensive your invisible obligations become. Bigger mortgage, higher insurance, more maintenance, more lifestyle to protect, more income required just to hold the whole thing together. This is why America can be simultaneously unbelievably wealthy and emotionally, financially insecure. Because national wealth is not the same thing as personal financial calm. GDP doesn't pay your rent. Stock market highs don't lower your grocery bill. A country can be rich while its people feel permanently one unexpected expense away from chaos. And that emotional instability changes how people behave. It makes them more impulsive, more anxious, more comparison-driven, more exhausted. Financial stress is not just a money issue. It is a nervous system issue. It changes how you think, how you sleep, how you plan, how much risk you can tolerate, how hopeful you feel about the future. And maybe that's the most important part of this entire conversation. Feeling broke is not always a reflection of bad decisions. Sometimes it is a completely rational emotional response to an environment where the cost of normal life keeps rising faster than your sense of stability.
America is rich, but that does not automatically mean Americans feel financially safe. Those are two very different realities, and most people are living inside that gap. Not poor enough to qualify for help, not rich enough to feel relaxed, just financially functional. Which, for a lot of people, is basically adulthood in America. So maybe the better question isn't why so many people feel broke. Maybe the real question is, what would it actually take to finally feel safe? Not impressive, not wealthy looking, not optimized. Safe. Because for a lot of people, that is the real financial goal. Not luxury. This hit a little too close to home. Subscribe for more money psychology videos that explain the behaviors and emotions traditional finance advice completely ignores. See you in the next one.